All right. So, oh man, this is late. Been away, but we have the balance adjustment preview ready for y'all. So we're gonna go over that, see what's changing. Hopefully, there's something good here. I'm guessing OpSig is gonna be on here maybe. MLK run, that's a good one. Who else needs buff? Who else needs buff? There's a lot of units that need buffs. But I know those two specifically. Emma Kiron, they need to make him HP scaling. OpSig, I don't know what she needs. Maybe an EE. Maybe some more damage on the S2. Or something. Let's see. I can't really think right now. But I know there's a lot of people that need it. Specimen says he already got buffed once. I'm pretty sure, right? The last time he got buffed, it was so he can work with DDR, because they changed it to from just stun to stun and sleeps, right? Sage Balancerzan is actually a really good cleave, anti-cleave, anti-aggro, whatever you want to call him, unit where you can build them super speed with some ER and everything, and effectiveness, and it's actually a very hard unit to build, to be honest. And then they press buttons, he cuts in between, sleeps the enemy team, and hopefully you can come back from that. Conqueror Lilius is getting buffed. She saw some play at the start of not at the start of the season when Summer Hwa-Young just came out. She saw some play, but it didn't work out. I tried to use her with Conqueror Lilius in Arena, not in RTA, because like I said, I don't have the speed to do that. But the problem I was having there's a lot of teams with with young Senya on it, and for some reason she always has the highest defense. So if Green Hwa-Young kicks her, then obviously you're gonna get hit with no bullying. So I started changing that instead, going with like a Lidica Frida team. Lionheart Sermia, one of my favorite MLs in the game, probably my favorite ML in the game. Yeah, but she needs, like I said, she needed more CR push. I think that's what she needed. I think you need to be like, honestly, I wish it would be 100%, but even 50% I think would be decent. Commander Pavel, what else does she need besides that? I think she needs maybe a little bit more damage as well. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna help because she's penetration, right? So anti-pen is gonna destroy that. Commander Pavel, maybe take out the fighting spirit. If they take out the fighting spirit, it could be all he needs, that would be good. And here he is, MLK run. Alright, so MLK run, I think they just need to make him fully HP scaling, and that will be fine, because right now he's like both, because his barrier is based off his HP, I think, right? And then the damage is based on his attack. So he's kind of a weird build. He also needs ER. But if they make him HP scaling, he can go. I think he'll be able to survive more things. I don't know if that's gonna help him, but I think it's a good start in the right direction. Top model Lulika, very stat hungry unit. She needs to be super fast with a lot of damage. Festive Ida, for her, I think the only thing, she needs a strip. She doesn't have a strip on her skill 3, that she needs, but she also needs, they need to lower the cooldown on her skill 2, her passive, right? They need to lower the cooldown on that, because 4 turns is way too long. She needs to punish people more for revealing her, right? 2 turns maybe, or even 3, Flan, Blue Flan. I don't know what to expect for this one. Summer Break Charlotte. This girl actually does a lot of damage. She does a lot of damage. Dual attack unit. What could she even be getting? I don't know. Green Movie. This unit is not used much. I think she does stuns, CR pushing. Green Lilibet. One of the first. Is she the first? She was the first extinction unit, I think, right? Or the first unit that was brought out to try and deal with RB, I think. Yeah, she's not used very much. Green Sharoon, this is a unit that counters my playstyle very heavily. I'm a Mickey player, so if I see a Green Sharoon, I have to ban her most of the time because she has like super high effectiveness. She venoms. She can keep resetting your skills with her skill 1. But she's not a meta unit. She's just like a niche pick. She's just for me only. Challenger Dominio. She was OG Cleave unit in arena, man. Inferno Kawazu, that's my boy. He's one of the characters that I use right now to like fight into things like Lydica's, like anything AoE that doesn't do too much damage, I guess. I mean, obviously, it's because Lydica AoEs usually have somebody else as well to help stop her from the CR pushing up. Kawazu cuts up. ECR pushes himself, he heals himself, cleanses all of the debuffs, and then, you know, I just nuke somebody with the burns. The burns do a lot of damage. Like 2 burns does like almost maybe or even like 32k damage, like 27 to 32k damage is really decent. But hey, you're getting a buff. That's good. Specimen says, alright, so 50% chance to stun for 1 turn. That's the dream of Iron Mace before and after. Okay, before. Increase the combat rating of the character by 25%. Now he's getting attack the enemy with Iron Mace, 50% chance to inflict stun. When a target is inflicted with stun, didn't they not change this? It's still saying stun here, but I'm pretty sure they changed it to stun or sleep the last time he got buffed, didn't they? Alright, combat rating of the caster by 25% increases effectiveness of this attack. So he has free effectiveness on the skill 1 now. Attack slot enemy with Evil Claws, alright, Evil Claws. 60% chance to stun. That's changing into 80% chance to stun, so you're getting higher for 1 turn before granting increased attack to the caster for 2 turns. Increases effectiveness. Okay, he's giving a bunch of free effectiveness on all his skills, so he can be able to tag some DPSs and low ER units. People have like around the 100s around there. You know, I think anything below 150, if he has no effectiveness on him, he can tag it maybe. Tags the enemy with a light storm. Alright. When the enemy is defeated, it inflicts extinction and resets the cooldown of this skill, penetrates the target's defense by 30%. But when the enemy is inflicted with stun, I'm pretty sure they changed this to stun and sleep, no? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that was on the last time he got buffed, or did they pull that whole thing? Penetrates by 100%. When the skill is not on cooldown, increases evasion by 50%. So yeah, so when he has it available, he gets extra evasion. Attacks the enemy with Light Storm and absorb some of the damage dealt to his health. So Lifesteal is getting Lifesteal on that skill right now. When the enemy is defeated, inflict extinction. Resets the cooldown of the skill. Penetrates the target's defense by 30%. Okay, penetrates by 100. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he's getting Lifesteal built into the skill 3, which is good, because sometimes even when you're evading stuff, like evasion units are not built with a lot of HP and defense and anything like that. So if you get hit, a lot of times, even if they miss, you still take a lot of damage. So getting the health back will help him potentially stay in the match a little longer. I mean, I know there's like things like 3F and stuff. If you get hit by that, he's probably dead, but you know, it's something. Sage Ball and Sezen. Cloud of Ruin, I think this is the skill 2 or AoE. Yeah, attacks all enemies summoning a storm clouds. Chance to dispel 1 buff, 100% chance to dispel one buff, that's going away. Sleep for 1 turn. The skill is not on cooldown. At the end of an enemy's turn, increases combat rating of the caster by 20%. Okay. That's all enemies by summoning a storm cloud and has a 100% chance to dispel 2 buffs. Okay. So he has 2 buff strip, inflicting sleep for 1 turn when the skill is not on cooldown. If enemy's turn, increase the common race of the caster. Okay. And he gets a soul burn for 20 souls to grant an extra turn. Okay. Grant an extra turn. And then obviously the skill 3, if we know it by now, when the target is inflicted, when the target dies, so if you kill somebody, it inflicts silence on all remaining enemies for 1 turn and penetrates the target's defense, but cannot trigger a critical hit. Alright, heavy blow or a heavy blow. Heavy blow is just the big white numbers. Damage does increase the proportional to the caster's lost health, so he has to be low to use this. What's changing? Max health maybe. Attacks the enemy with a heal spirit. And when the enemy is defeated, extend buff durations of all remaining enemies by 1 turn. Penetrates the target's defense, but cannot trigger a critical hit or heavy blow. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Awakened. To the caster's max health, damage dealt increases when the target is inflicted with sleep. So the idea is for him to now be put on book, I'm assuming. So you get the souls and then you cut in between the units. He's a disruptor, so you cut in between, you soul burn, sleep the enemy team, and then you go for the skill 3 and just nuke somebody, and it extends all the other sleeps to 2 turns. That is juicy. I want to see how this plays out in the actual fight, but that sounds like it could be very big. Alright. Sounds like it could be very big. Conqueror Lilius. Cover. Distract the enemy, decreasing combat range to the target. That's the skill 2. Okay, with 25%. 100% chance to inflict redirect to provoke for 1 turn. And grants a barrier proportional to the caster's max health and to the caster, except the caster and the ally, except for the caster with the highest max health for 2 turns, which makes sense for the redirect to provoke. Distract enemy, 100% chance to inflict redirect to provoke and decrease defense. So she has a decreased defense on her skill 2 now, as well as the provoke for 1 turn. Grants a barrier. He has the same thing there. Okay. Soul burn for the 10 souls, extend durations of the debuff inflicted by the skill by 1 turn. Okay, so now if she soul burns, she has a 2-turn redirect to provoke and a 2-turn defense break. Okay. Nice. Okay, I see. That could help her out a little bit into things like beat-om and stuff. Like if you're playing beat-om with, and they're trying to play Conqueror Lilius with Hua Young or somebody like that, they just use these 2. Now she can defense break, but if she defense break someone with, if you're using the fast Hua Young, it could work out though. Defense break someone, she kicks, and then she can get the guaranteed kill maybe on 2 people, maybe. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen like that, but it's something. 2-turn defense break though. Defense break on this skill 2. I like it. Aram kind of shuts this down heavily though. Just to put that out there. Obviously, you can pick her yourself, but yeah, if an enemy picks Aram, you're kind of locked out because 3-turn immunity. Conqueror Lilius only decreases by 1 turn, and then it's history after that. You can't land anything. Alright. For Honor Awaken. Let's look at Awaken. Encourages the front army, granting vigor to all allies for 2 turns, decreasing duration of all enemies, buff durations, all enemies by 1 turn. Has a 100% chance to inflict decreased attack for 2 turns, grant an extra turn. Okay. Encourages the parallel army, granting vigor to all allies for 2 turns and increasing combat readiness by 15%. So she has a 15% CR push on her skill 3 now. That's actually very, very nice. I don't know what to think of it, but it's very good. It can help her bring her T up, right? Yeah. Decreasing all buff durations of the enemy by 1 turn, 100% chance to inflict decreased attack for 2 turns. Okay. The CR push could be huge though. It could be huge. The defense break, I'm just counting it out just because of ARAM. Obviously you're not fighting ARAM every game. But I'm just counting it out because of ARAM, you know. But it could be good. The CR push definitely could help. I wonder if she's also gonna get an EE. Maybe. McQueen! Lionheart Sermia. Oh, they're changing her star sign. Okay. After an ally suffers an attack, an extra attack, counter attack, or dual attack dispels all debuffs inflicted on the caster and activates Shine. Okay. You must align granting increased defense and increased ER the caster for 2 turns and increases combat readiness by 20% before resetting skill cooldowns. Ah, are they doing what I wanted that I said they should do? Counter attack or dual attack dispels all the inflicting the caster and activates Shine, emitting a light granting increased defense and immunity to the caster for 3 turns. So that's actually very good because she can. That means she's gonna keep the defense buff. I mean, the immunity is nice too, but she's gonna keep the defense buff after she does her S3 S1 combo, right? She does the S3, she gets an extra turn and then S1s, right? So she's gonna keep the immunity after that, which could be good into things that want to maybe seal you or something like that, right? Defense break you afterwards, you know, could be good. It could be good. Increasing combat readiness by 50%. Now she can cut, and her stats are going up, I'm assuming. Okay. So, okay. Let's check to see whose stats is she getting. All right. She's a warrior, Pisces warrior. Okay. Let's see. No, not you. Let's see. Why am I on dark? No, I don't want to be on dark. So it's going to be the same as... Nope. It's Aries, right? Yeah, it's Aries. So same as Laya. Okay, so it's going to be the same as Laya, which means she is gaining... Okay, she's gaining some speed. She's gaining a lot of HP, almost 1,000 more HP, and she's losing 30 defense. She's losing 30 defense, and she's also losing the 30 ER that she had before, because they're changing that instead of ER into immunity. Okay. The defense might be lower, so her damage might suffer maybe just a little bit, but she's getting more speed, so she can cut faster. She's getting more HP, so you can build her a bit more tanky. Okay, I want to see how it plays out. I don't know if this itself is going to help. I don't know if this is going to help her get it back into the meta, but I'm here to try her. Commander Pavel. Now, by the start of the battle, against 60 fighting spirit, they're still not removing that. It's not red. They're still doing that. After an ally, except for the caster makes a critical hit, gains 20 fighting spirit. And when fighting spirit is full, activates Be Gone. Okay. What are they removing? Consume 100 fighting spirit. Can increase attack and attacks all enemies. And yeah, he gets a 50% combat readiness, right? Yeah. Okay, after the first battle, gains 60 fighting spirit. Okay, what's changing? 100 fighting spirit. 2 turns. Attacks all enemies. Increase combat readiness of the caster by 100%. Damage dealt also increased. So he's getting 100% CR push now, which means you can run him way slower with more damage, and you can, even if you can run him like around 170, 180 some speeds like that to make him cut, so you can cut into politices and things like that, right? And the damage dealt is also going up. I'm surprised they didn't take out the fighting spirit. That's the one thing that's holding him back, I think. So, but I guess it's fine. The skill 3, die you fly. Anyway, and when the target is not an elite or boss monster, ignores damage share. When the caster's attack is greater than the target's attack, penetrates defense up to 70%. What's changing? Nothing. Damage dealt is increased and the soul burn for damage dealt. So you're getting a lot of damage buff on that. You guys let me know how that works out for you. I don't know. It's the fighting spirit thing, I think, that was hampering him the most. He did a lot of damage. Obviously, penetrating, you have to deal with anti-pen units, but besides that, I think the fighting spirit was his biggest thing. Not his damage. He does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage. What is this? Oh, Heiron. Southern Slash. Attacks the enemy with a sword and grants a barrier proportional to the caster's max health. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. And when the trigger does a counterattack, changes into attack that targets all enemies. They could also make it, if they wanted to make this better too, they could change it to not just counterattack. They could just make it counterattack or dual attack, when not used on the caster's turn, and then that would make it so you can use him with like things like Politis and things like that, right? No, that would have probably been good. And also make it HP scaling, maybe. But if they're not, then make it work with Politis and them. Dual attack units. Attack the enemy with a sword inflicting up to 10% injuries. Okay. Before granting a barrier proportional to the caster's max health. Okay. And when triggered as a counterattack, change the attack to all enemies. So he has a lot of injury. He has injury in his kit now, which is also going to help his skill 3. Because obviously he injures you down, the less HP you have, the less you're likely to survive the skill 3. Alright? Even if he's playing into if he's playing into a squishy team, that starting damage is gonna be like around like 7 to 10k ish if you press it on turn 1. But depends actually on how many turns the enemy took. Yeah, it depends on how much time the enemy took. And then if he presses and it's 10k, if you're already injured, you're less likely to survive. So yeah, I think that's okay. But I think he still needs more. What's changing with the passive here? Seems like... Okay. So now grants counterattack for 1 turn, and at the end of an enemy's turn, gain 10 fighting spirit, right? And when fighting spirit is full, increase the combat range by the caster by 100%. Now he's getting also a full cleanse. So kind of like, think of AU Fiend, right? When AU Fiend gets her full thing and she's ready to press her S3, she cleanses all the debuffs that's on herself, which is good because where did I see? I saw. Yeah. This is good. Unless he's sealed, obviously. If he's sealed, then obviously this does not activate. So you have to be aware of that. Okay. Ooh, I see a big change here. Suffering a critical hit, grants 30% damage reduction. A successful attack will inflict 5,000 fixed damage and additional damage increased proportional to the amount of consumed fighting spirit up to 10,000. So this is the S3. Oh, this is the awakened version. Successful attack. So now he's regardless whether the attack hits, So now he can rip S3 into evasion units like the most popular one obviously is A-Flan 100% evasion, and right now, Kid Aiden, who's like Kid Aiden is like the MVP of the season. She has been whooping people left and right with that bamboo stick. Okay. When the skill is not on cooldown, when the skill is not on cooldown, so when it's available, grants 30% damage reduction. So not just crit damage now, now it's everything. Because there's a lot of things that also in the meta that don't really crit as much too. There's a lot of things that don't crit. So you can, I guess that works. Talking about a Ludica. Let's see. Attacks the enemy with the suit's energy. Okay, and when used on the caster's turn, has a 40% chance to grant an extra attack with the same skill. Okay. When an enemy is a lethal boss monster, ignores damage sharing. Okay. Attacks the enemy with a suit's energy, has a 40% chance to grant an extra attack with the same skill. Ah, I seen people talking about her. Okay, so people are saying, well, this doesn't do anything because like, why? Like nobody's gonna run her on counter or something. But I think it's obviously nobody's gonna run her on counter. This is a unit that needs to be fast and everything. So I think this is for like running her with things like Sea Phantom Politis and like your Boss Arunkas and things like that, where you could like force a dual attack. You force a dual attack into a defense break and you get the double hit. You know, I think that's what it's for. I think that's what it's for. So yeah, you try it out. Let's see how it goes. How it goes. You gotta try it out. I don't know if it's gonna change much, but yeah, at least you can be played with dual attacks now. When the caster's speed is at least twice that of the target speed, what? Times up all allies with 20% and grants stealth to the caster for 2 turns. Damage does increase with the caster's speed. But now it's when the caster's speed is at least twice that of the target, penetrates the target's defense by 50%. Now people are saying that this is for Boss Arunka. I saw that. I don't know about that. Even at 50% pen, I don't know if that's gonna help her kill Boss Arunka. People are underestimating how tanky that unit is, man. Like, I don't know. Have you fought that girl? Dude, not even ML Hua-Young, who's supposed to be an anti-light unit, struggles to kill that girl. So I don't know if it, but they said twice. Like, you have to be double their speed. So if a unit is 150, and obviously, you guys, if you think if she, let's say she one shots a base speed Arunka, do you think that people won't just make Arunka like 150 speed, and then now you have to be 300, right? Now you have to be 300, which is obviously going to, I mean, I know some people can pull it off. There's a lot of people who can pull it off, where you can have like a unit that's 300 plus and still have good damage, but I don't know, like, is it going to be worth? Who knows? Obviously, this is the penetration skill at the same time, so enough, you know. At least they didn't decrease the damage, because usually when they give a unit pen, usually when they give a unit pen, they reduce the damage dealt to compensate for the pen, right? But at least they didn't do it this time, so it's still gonna hit hard. But one of my boys was a clearer, is saying that she's probably going to get a speed EE. And then what's her base speed right now? Her base speed right now, she's a major. Wait, what is she? Yeah, one of the best looking characters in the game, by the way. It's a shame that the artist doesn't, I don't think they work with E7 anymore. So 119 base speed is gonna make her 129 if she gets a speed EE, which is gonna be the same speed as Haran. If she gets that, then you can see some 320s maybe, Ludicas going around. So maybe that's possible. I think it might be the most likely thing that she might get is like a crit chance EE, but a speed EE would make sense with what they're trying to do here, because you have to be twice their speed, and that's For a damage dealer, not always that crazy. Not a good, not an easy feat to do. You have to be twice your speed. So just keep that in mind to get this effect. Alright, Festive Ida. I think she just needs a strip on the skill 3, to be honest. And lower the passive cooldown. Attacks the enemy with a bubble. That's the S1. 75% chance to decrease hit chance for 1 turn. When the caster's stealth increases the effect chance by 25%. Okay. Slow burn grants an extra turn. Okay, so that's going away. Okay. Let's see. Attacks the enemy with bubbles with a 40% chance to inflict stun. Oh. For 1 turn, and when the caster is granted stealth, increases by 25%, so 65% chance to stun on the skill 1. Okay, that's not bad. At the start of battle and at the end of the turn, grant stealth for 1 turn, and at the start of battle, when not granted stealth, dispels all debuffs except for obviously if she's sealed. I don't know, I keep saying that, but like I don't know if I need to. And then activates Shyness, right? After attacking, when granted Shyness, activates Expected Outcome. Expected Outcome attacks all enemies, dispelling 2 buffs, decreasing combat readiness by 50%, before 85% chance to inflict decreased defense for 2 turns. Alright. What's changing? Okay. So Expected Outcome, decreasing combat readiness by 50% and inflicting additional damage proportional to the caster's max health. They took out the strip right here, so I'm assuming they're putting it on skill 3. Okay. Yeah, so okay, here we go. Yeah, 85% chance to silence for 1 turn and 100% chance to make them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. Oh, this is going away too. Cooldown increase or decrease effect, so you can't reset it. Yeah, gain 2 soul, cooldown 3 turns. Cooldown is going up, soul gain is going up. Okay, ignore ER, soul burn. She's a mage, so she can hold her own book. Okay, attacks all enemies by collecting bubbles, dispelling 2 buffs. That's good. I used to try to play her actually in RTA, and I had her on the Holo Trials artifact, the violin, to try and strip the immunity of people. So she can strip the immunity and land her unbuffable. So, but she's getting a dispel here with an ignore your soul burn, so you put her on book. Alright, with 85% chance to inflict decreased defense for 2 turns, 100% chance to inflict silence for 1 turn. Okay, so the skill 2. So it's just decreasing combat ratings by 50%. I think they should have kept the defense break there, maybe, but and then keep the unbuffable here, because the unbuffable is really good into things like Arunka. I used to play her for that. I built her and Fairy Tail Tenebria specifically to try and fight against Arunka, like land the unbuffable and then the provokes and stuff, and then we can do a bunch of things with that. But yeah, she has a strip now, so she doesn't need that. Now she can run book, which is good. I still do think they need to lower the cooldown on the S2, but hey. Alright. Attacks the enemy with a gun, 75% chance to dispel 1 buff. Okay. Attacks the enemy with a gun, 75% chance to inflict decreased defense for 1 turn. Okay. Okay. Bargain against enemies, decreasing defense for 2 turns before decreasing counter is 15%. Okay, let's just go to the awakened version. There's a hard bargain, increasing skill cooldowns of all enemies by 1 turn. And inflicting decreased defense for 2 turns before decreasing combat readiness by 15%. She doesn't have a strip. So immunity is just gonna, and like I said, ARAM is around there, so a lot of turn 2 people are gonna have immunity. Obviously you can get a stripper to go before her. You could do that, but then you have 2 setup units there. 1. The cooldown is nice though. The increased cooldown, because Laya is not too meta from what I've seen, but she's still out there. She could be picked, and it's a non-attack skill, so things like ML Corral, light Corral, Last Rider Corral can't you can't like press his F3 to bring his team back since it's a non-attack skill, right? So yeah, that works. But immunity, obviously, you need somebody to strip before she goes. All right. In line with the balance adjustment on Flan's exclusive equipment will be adjusted as follows. Increases the buff dispel chance of increases communication breakdowns, decrease defense effect chance. Okay, so it is what, 85% chance of defense break. Okay. Sharklet Summer Break Charlotte. Let's see. Caught a big one. What is this? Attacks enemy with 2 meaty fish and has a 60% chance to decrease defense for 1 turn. I think this is skill 1. When activated as a dual attack, this attack changes into attack that targets all enemies. Alright, so AoE defense break. She had attack does not trigger a counter attack and increases combat readiness of the caster by 25%, and that's changing into 75% from 60, so you get a higher chance to inflict decreased defense. There's one enemies. The attack does not trigger a counter attack and increases combat readiness of all allies. So she's a bridge. She lost 5% push, but she got 20% for her whole team. So you can actually bridge with her, which is actually better than the A-Flan bridge, because A-Flan needs to be fast to do that. I don't think she needs to be. Yeah, she doesn't need to be. Yeah, it's good. Will Lord there awaken. Dispels all debuffs from the caster and grants and attacks the enemy with a pod killer will, stunning for 1 turn and increasing speed of allies for 2 turns. Penetrate the target's defense by 50%. What's changing? No, just damage dealt increased. Okay. That's already did a lot of damage, kinda. I mean, the S2 did a lot of damage to me. The S1 proc, the AoE S1. This did some respectable damage as well, but it's getting more damage. So which is always good. Okay. Let's see how she get back. That bridge ability though. That might just make her very popular. And she doesn't need anything to do it. It's not like Flan where, okay, if they're trying to bridge with Flan and somebody picks Solitaria, then now she's like not totally useless, because it depends on who she's drafted with, right? But this one, you can't stop her. She doesn't need Fighting Spirit to activate her thing, and you can just dual attack with her right from the start. That bridges your entire team, puts defense break on the enemy team, and yeah, you're good. You should be chilling. If you have other people that activate off of AoEs, things like Caesarea, anything that activates off of AoE, the defense break a proc like a Blizzica too. It depends. There's a lot of things you can do. Okay, damage not increased. That's it for her. Green Lilibet. Okay. Strikes and slices the enemy with a 50% chance to make them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. Okay, attacks the enemy, slashing them from above, increasing combat readiness of the caster by 20%, damage dealt increased. Okay. Snip, awaken, let's see. Brutally cuts the enemy with a 55% chance to inflict 3 bleeding effects for 2 turns. This has to be the skill 2, right? Increasing combat readiness of the caster by 50%. And when the target is bleeding after the attack, increases combat readiness of the caster by an additional 50%. 100% CR push now. Attacks the enemy mercilessly with a 100% chance to dispel all buffs. Okay. A critical hit will grant an extra turn. Okay. Damage dealt decreased. Wow. Soul Burn ignores effect resistance. Okay. Soul Burn ignore ER full strip 10 souls. And an extra turn. Okay. This could be good. Even if her damage suffers a little bit, it still could be it could still have potential, I think. Let's see what's happening with the skill 3 though. Attack the enemy by slashing them with Chuan before granting skill nullifier once to the caster. When the enemy is defeated, extinction. Yeah, she was the first RB counter, I think. Decreases skill cooldowns on the caster by 1 turn. Okay. Hit chance of the skill is increased by 20%. Alright. After the enemy attacks the enemy, slashing them with 12 mile before granting skill nullifier once to the caster. And when the enemy is defeated, inflicts extinction. Finish the target's defense by 100% defense pen. Wait, this might actually Lilibet might be better than Sage Ball. She might be the bigger buff in here. She might be better than Sage Ball. Her buff. Damn. Now, granted, she gets to take a turn, which you could maybe try to do because you have Sharklet now, who is a bridge too. She's also a bridge with that defense break. Well, no, you can try something. Damage dealt decreased for the because it compensates for the 100% defense pen. Okay, into ill enough, it's still 50% defense pen. No, 70% defense pen. So it's still gonna do a lot. Yeah, even into ill enough. Like as we've seen with strays, right? Like Ilanov really can't do much against strays because he has 100% now, and right from the get-go, and then she's tough only 30%, so he still pens 70% with this a lot of damage still. So yeah, this is gonna be pretty juicy. I think Lilibet might be the best one here. Mui, she needs a whole change, bro. That unit is not used in the slightest. Attacks the enemy with a whip. 75% chance to target for 2 turns. This changing into 100% chance to inflict target. Why didn't they change? They should have changed this into like a defensive break. To be honest, change it into a defensive break. Attacks all enemies by calling upon trained monsters. Alright. Trained monsters with a 50% chance to inflict 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns and an 80% chance to inflict stun for 1 turn. Okay, attacks all enemies by calling upon trained monsters with 50% chance each to inflict 2 bleeding effects for 2 turns. What's changing? Oh, this damage dealt increase. This doesn't do that. Does this do a lot of damage? I don't remember. I fought her once. I know I fought her once. I don't know how that. I remember how that went. I probably didn't remember because he probably didn't go good, but yeah. Alright, drive monsters forward to attack all enemies and dispelling 2 buffs. Grants increased attack to all. Wait, I'm missing something here. Oh yeah. Yeah, grants increased attack to all allies for 3 turns and increasing combat readiness of the caster by 25% per critical hit. Okay. Drive monsters forward to attack all enemies and dispels 2 buffs. Yeah, dispels 2 buffs. And grant increased attack to all allies for 3 turns and increases combat readiness of the caster by 30% per critical hit. They still have it per critical hit, so she still needs crit to be doing this. So I guess she's a damage dealer, but in this evasion meta, like if you have 2 evasion units there, she's not cutting. She's still not cutting anyways through like AU Fiend, who's being picked a lot. I don't know if you guys seen these cringe drafts. Like people are picking, they really want to pick Amit very, very badly, so they go like AU Fiend and Politis, and then they go Amit on 3, and I was like, okay, buddy, I know you want the Amit, but like, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, he's like, no, you're not stopping my CR push. Those people are, there's probably people, those are probably the Amit players with like base speed, full damage that are doing that, because usually some of them only pick, if they have like a 150, 170 strays around there, then they might pick like just AU Fiend alone, which acts kind of like an anchor. And then let you have your politics, whatever. Because there's still skill null there, unless you stun. But then if you stun, she gets cleanse or the skill 3 anyway, so she doesn't really care about politics that much, you know. But yeah. Amid cleavers. So yeah, but yeah. So I'm saying that she doesn't have that. She doesn't have that that privilege, man. She still won't cut. It's like I think this is what. That's 120 CR or something like that. It still doesn't give her the turn. Depends on how fast she is, man. She can still get the turn, but you have to build her like around like 240, 250 for her to get the turn, maybe around there. Maybe 240 for her to cut. But she won't get the turn because it will be on her turn that she's using this thing. Yeah, it will be on her turn that she's using this thing, so she won't cut. No. What am I even? I'm not even paying attention. All right. Taxi and Muta 75% chance to inflict venom for 1 turn. This is Sharoon. This unit is specifically a counter for me. Specifically. Man, Miki just gets bodied by this unit. Chance to inflict venom for 1 turn. After attacking, when the target is inflicted with venom, increases skill cooldowns by 1 turn. Okay. 100% chance to inflict venom. Okay. 1 turn. After attacking when the target is inflicted with venom. Okay. Soul Brand, ignore ER. Okay, so ignore ER for 10 souls on S1. She can reset your skill. Which in a full match it might not look like much, but like when you come down to those like 1v1s where you're getting the venom, you're getting the injury, it's like frenzy. And you can't use your skill 3 on some units. It's actually key, you know, to use their skill 3, and you can't use it. Well, boom, you're just gonna keep getting a reset to death. But she's mainly there for she's mainly that kind of Miki counter. I don't know who else she is really used that much against. And I don't know. But this is actually very good though, because it now brings more. If she becomes meta, it also brings Schneel up a notch, right? Because he's gonna work with her as well. You know, he's gonna work against her as well. I'll be back. Yeah, as I was saying, so if she even becomes more playable, that's just gonna increase the stocks of Schneel, alright? So and she can't even do anything to Schneel because it's gonna be just a force ban for her. Yeah, it's gonna be a force ban for her because she can't reset him because he resets his skill 3 when he presses his passive, right? I think so. Yeah, if she becomes any kind of relevance, then yeah, Schneel's stocks is gonna rise up. Attacks all enemies, decreasing bolt durations by 2 turns. Before which ARAM sits on. ARAM will sit on this. Decrease speed and venom for 2 turns. There are enemies in combat radius on the cast by 50%. What's changing here? Oh, she's getting 2 venom effects. Okay. Okay. It could work. It could work, but it could work. But yeah, ARAM is here, so I don't expect her to blow up. But if she does, like I said, Schneel is there. We're finally getting into challenge of Luminio. Releases the power of electricity, granting increased critical hit chance to all allies for 3 turns and increasing combat readiness by 20%. Okay. Increasing combat readiness by 25%. Okay. They should have bid this up higher. At like 30% CR push. Yeah. And maybe that would have helped her out a little bit more. Extra 5%. I don't know if that's gonna bring her back Anyway, the people who are using her, like the 5 people who are using her, might use her more. That's it. Her EE is changing. Increasing combat ratings by an additional 5%. Oh, they took away that. That would have made it 30% CR push. Increases attack of all that for 3 turns when you're using supercharge. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna bring her back up. Kawazu attacks the enemy with a 75% chance to burn for 1 turn, and when the caster is granted vigor, increases effect. Oh, this has to be the skill 1. Increases effect chance by 25% chance, and inflicts an additional burn. Attacks the enemy with flames, inflicting burn for 1 turn, and when the caster is granted vigor, ignores effect resistance. So he's losing one of the burns, and he's getting ignored here. Right? So now it just lines up with his passive more, which is good because now you can bring somebody with a book. Wait, what did I just do? Yeah, you can bring somebody with a book and soul burn the S1 before you press S3, and there you go. You have guaranteed 3 burns, which is killing most things. It's killing most things, right? Yeah. Inflicts 1 additional burn. Okay. Silence the target for 1 turn when using flames of destruction. When the caster is granted trigger, ignores effect resistance. So this is the skill 3, right? Break resistance. Okay. Inflicts 1 additional burn for 2 turns if granted vigor when using flames of destruction. Okay, so that could make you land, if you soul burn the S1, you can land with 1, 2, 3, so 4 burns you can end up with. But I still think that's not I'm not this is good, this is nice, but I still think I just stick with the immunity one. There's a lot of things where if you don't have that immunity, like let's say, like for example, I told you I use him to counter Lidica, right? To play into Lidica, not fully counter, but to play into her sometimes, not all the time, right? And if you don't have that immunity, even if you manage to cut, Lidica's just gonna push him back if he doesn't have that immunity on him. Defense break him, and then now he's dead. Okay, so yeah, I think the immunity is too valuable to pass up, even for the extra damage. Like 2 burns already does so much damage. It's not even funny. 2 burns already do a lot of damage. All right, that seems to be it. I think the winner is it got to be Lilibet, man. Lilibet has to be the winner. I'm pretty sure. Where's she? Yeah, there you go. I think Lilibet. It might be her. We're gonna see how it plays out. Obviously, Sage Ball got a nice buff. Kawazu, I mean, it's just like a win more thing for Kawazu. If he's winning, he's just gonna make him win harder. But yeah, I think they could have given Kawazu more CR push. Maybe that probably would have been a better thing for the EE. Like change the EE to CR push for further. Who knows? Or both passive to make it CR push further. But yeah. That is it. Lilibet is a winner, I think. Sage Ball 2nd place. IMO. Alright? So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.